Okay, good evening, people. Fellow Earthlings, how you doing down there? How you doing? My name is John Shaughnessy, and I'm here to explain what the gravitational field of the moon is doing in the magma chambers of your planet. Anywho, we're on a little video. We're going to show some, some graphic descriptions of how the gravitational fields pull on the Earth's surface. Mind you, though, they are pulling below the surface. This has not been identified really that much lately. So I'm going to spread some light on it, shine some light on it. So with that, we'll just run this little video here, take a few, it's less than a minute. Then we'll get into some slides, some classroom work, and a couple of formulas, and should be good to go. We're here to lock in magnetic north and stop land movements. That is the ultimate goal here. We're going to catch up to what our ancient geo-engineers were doing years ago, and see if we can copy what they were doing. So sit back and watch the picture show. Alright, there's the Earth, the moon. You'll see the gravitational field shooting from the sun. There's the Earth spinning roundy round. And there's the gravitational pull between these two objects. Obviously the moon's a lot smaller, but nevertheless it does pull trillions of tons of water every day to create the high tides on Earth. That being said, it actually elongates the actual shape of the planet because it is pulling the water towards it. So wherever the moon is located on the planet, that is where the high tide is. You have different types of high tides. You can see the real superimposed blue lines give you an idea of what exactly is happening to the ocean as the moon swings around it. Okay, now this also affects the magma chambers below the planet Earth. And it does get the moon actually does play off of mountains, pyramids, and geometrically shaped mass above sea level to create and control magma streams that actually have a lot to do with the wonderful life that we're living on planet Earth today. Okay, I'm going to stop there. There's the beautiful home there. Nice planet. It's the only one we got. I'm going to pause this for a second and be right back with you. This is a cool picture right here. It kind of simplifies what's going on between these three heavenly bodies. Obviously the big yellow thing on the side is the sun, and then you have the moon on the other side, and the poor old Earth is getting tugged in both directions. Mind you though, it needs this gravity. Gravity is the lubricant for the tectonic plates. The moon is more powerful than the sun when it comes to gravitational forces. However, that being said, the moon is the most important thing on the planet, or off of the planet, as far as gravity is concerned. Like I said earlier, it's a lubricant for the tectonic plates. It flexes, it moves the water, it also moves the magma streams deep inside the Earth, and it does get manipulated by mass above the ellipsoid, excuse me, like mountains, geometrically shaped mountains, and I hate to say it, pyramids. I know everybody's going to freak out and run away every time they hear the P word, but it's time to wake up and smell the coffee. This right here is a nice graphic. It shows you the theoretical acceleration of gravity on the planet at 2.2 meters per second squared, and as it goes, that's in space, and as it gets closer to the surface, 9.81 meters per second squared. The superior mantle, 9.9 meters per second squared, and then the interior mantle is 10.4 meters per second squared, and then the outer core, and so on and so forth. This is highly theoretical and speculative right now as far as gravity when you get close to the iron core, liquid core. There is, consensus among the greatest minds on the planet that there is a gravity neutral zone, in the planet, and the gravity does spin out. I like you know, some other ideas with the double torus there from Hiram. He's got a double torus where the you know, the equatorial boundary gravity is flowing out and flowing back into the planet, all the while coming down from space. You know, basically recycling itself because of the spin of the mass on the planet. And the next slide here is the mountain ranges on planet Earth. You got Africa, Asia, Australia, Europe, North America, South America, Antarctica. 6 of these line up with other mountain ranges. So you look at the Himalayas line up with America, Africa. There's not really much lining up with Africa at the current sea level, but they line up with somewhere in Hawaii and the you know, southern Pacific island chains down there. Australia lines up with South America. Also, let's see, you have other places there. South America, the Andes line up with some Asian islands like Bali, a few other places. They actually have the same, almost the same shape as the Andes down there in that part of the world. I'm kind of missing a few of the names, but the bottom line is all mountain ranges line up with mass 180 degrees from each other on the same latitude. We'll be getting into that a little later. I just wanted to show you these mountains that are you know, pretty obvious masses, and nobody's picked that up yet, except for me. I'm out here working. I'm working on the side, trying to advance the sciences here of geology, and trying to basically get this gravity, you know, down to a science too, that we know what's actually going on above and below the planet. All right, we're gonna move off to another. You'll have to forgive me for pushing the book here a little bit, but hey, what are you gonna do? Someone's got to pay the bills for the camera equipment. But what I wanted to point out was the moon. You got the Giza. You got the Giza Plateau on your right. You have the Earth, obviously, the big blue marble in the center, and then you have a volcano on your left. Now that volcano just so happens to be the Hawaiian hotspot, which to date has no scientific explanation that really locks in why it even is in existence, other than what I'm telling you right now. Again, this the pyramid in Giza, the Giza Plateau pyramids line up with the Hawaiian hotspot 180 degrees from each other in the approximate same latitude. Now that big old white thing up in the left-hand corner, that's the moon. Now that moon does pull through geometrically shaped mass above the planet, and it manipulates and controls magma streams inside the core of the planet. I'll show you another graphic in a few seconds. That being said, that's, you know, this thing, when it does line up, it does stroke the magma chambers down below the planet. Make no mistake about it, it's moving trillions of tons of water above, and it's moving trillions of tons of magma below. The moon is critical to our survival on the planet, not just because of the tides. It flexes all the tectonic plate joints, and it also moves the magma streams. And what I'm driving home is one of my theories that I'm pretty close to actually backing up with this science, is that the pyramids being built to, you know, I'm just going to say perfectly true north. Never mind 160th of a degree out of alignment with true north. It is true north, and it does stroke the magma streams, the high iron magnetic what would you call it, strength magma streams in the that part of the planet. Okay, so it does lock in magnetic north. That is when they were in good working order. You know, penetrating these pyramids over the years has disabled them and caused a lot of problems on the planet Earth, as we're starting to find out that you know, they do play an integral part of plate tectonics and the geoengineering functions of these ancient machines still do work, although they are damaged. The way you damage or disable a pyramid is you open it. This causes a bypass in the gravitational field or wave, and it basically, you know, what do you call it? Neutralizes it. Neutralizes the effect, or weakens its effect on the magma streams below. So when the moon swings over and it's pulling at the angle of, say, the pyramid or the volcano it's lined up with, there is a you know, there's calculations there that these things are supposed to be in pretty good working order, and you know, you're more or less short cycling the magma currents in the core, you know, below the surface. All right, here's another shot of the planet Earth. Excuse me. Here's your upper mantle, lower mantle, outer core, liquid iron, solid iron core, and you'll see these little magma streams up top, these hot spots, if you will, that drive up to the surface. They supply magma chambers to super calderas, and one in Yellowstone. There's a couple down in there's one down in South America. The name escapes me now, and then obviously the Hawaiian hotspot. So these things are real, and they just don't, you know, there's a science behind what makes these things pop up where they do pop up, and that is mountains or pyramids manipulate the gravity wave and pull on one side of the planet and lowers the gravitational field on the other side of the planet, like I showed you in the book cover. The book cover is right on, smack on. You can't. When I wrote that, when I drew that cover up, I didn't realize how precise and accurate that graphic really was at the time. It's just you know, I'll just pat myself on the back on that one. But anyways, this is it. This is what we're dealing with right here. This is all you know. You have tectonic plates going back down. The planet's always recycling itself. So if there was a society that was here 3-4 million years ago, that society's down in the core right now, and in some places are still up above. You know, they hasn't got sucked down through a trench. So there's you know, that's I just wanted to show this to you. This is the you know, this is the crux of the biscuits right here. You know, and then my theory is the neutral zone is where the liquid iron core is, and the solid iron core has a denser gravitational field than the outer planet does, and then it goes neutral, and then it goes back up to the gravitational field of the surface. So there's a little bit of you know, science that still needs to be worked out when it comes to what the actual gravitational constants are down there. But in theory, it would you know, you know, make sense that it would be like this. All right, moving right along at the speed of sound. Here is the Hawaiian hotspot. This is controlled by Giza. Well, the pyramids in the Nile Valley, they all more or less line up in a straight line with this hotspot. And there's your magma plume on the right. You have the old Hawaiian chain, which is now the Emperor Seamount chain, which is underwater. And then you have the Hawaiian chain right now, and obviously there's Hawaii. So this is a great timeline. Shows this thing plugging and chugging along over the millennia there. And this is all part of the ancient geoengineers who set that up. Your ancestors, not aliens, that set this up. I don't know why this thing's beeping, but anyways, battery's charged. So anyways, the Giza pyramids lower the gravitational field on the Giza side, and it deflects the gravity neutral zone by the core, down by the core, and it lowers the gravitational fields under the Hawaiian hotspot and allows magma to cut through a tectonic plate a mile or so thick, year in and year out, thousands of years, millions of years, you know. I mean, I don't know how long this technology's been around, but it's been around for a while. I don't know what came first, the pyramids or the hotspot, to be honest with you. So I'll leave that up to you know, some other people down the road. It could be either way. So this is it. This is the tectonic plates moving, you know, west, and this hotspot just sits there and carves through the tectonic plate day in and day out. Okay, here we go. This is a nice graphic. You got a human being up there, probably one of the guys that built the pyramids, but the outer surface is the Earth's surface. There's a gravitational field, there's a center, and then there's a you know, a lower gravitational field when you get towards the core. Like I said, the science today, well, most of the science has been you know, just focusing on the high tides being manipulated by the moon, when in fact the mountains and pyramids create a focal point. They operate just like a lens, what do you call it, a magnifying glass, you know, and you can adjust the sunlight. Some of you guys might have been you know, chasing ants around the sidewalk when you were younger, lighting fires with them. Well, that is a subatomic particle called a photon. This is a subatomic particle called a graviton. Although it's a lot weaker than the photon, that's why you have to build these massive, giant, geometrically shaped stone megaliths called pyramids to do the same as you could do with the magnifying glass. Anyways, this is it. So you know, you have the you know, the Earth's shell, the gravity on the surface, and it's the moon is stroking the gravitational fields on the inner surface of the planet. Yeah, that's right. You heard it. You've heard it first here, folks. This is John Shaughnessy, and I approve this here message. Okay, this is another great look at the Hawaiian hotspot. See the mantle plume coming up there, being driven by the pyramids, excuse me, in Giza. You got Kilauea, Mauna Loa, Hawaii, Maui, Molokai, Ahu. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. This is just giving you a graphic idea of what's going on. This is a lot of energy here, and this is being driven by your moon. I can't stress this enough. I'm going to keep driving it home. The moon is controlling the magma plumes in the Earth through geometrical shaped mass. Mountains and pyramids in specific places on the planet are doing this. It's very critical on a planet designed like Earth to you know, balance the planetary environment. We are living on one of the best designed planets, and it's artificially designed. Panacea is you know, a fallacy. It's you know, it's absolute pseudoscience. There was no way all the mass on the planet was on one side of the planet. That's just bizarro. I mean, this is what this is the best that they're coming up with. The you know, the planetary continents, or the continents on the planet, look like they came together because of gravity. It's a gravity wave that is cutting the edges of the continents up into little pieces. It's not that they were together and there's been continental drift. These ancient sites scattered around the planet for 70,000 years are still locked in to where they were when they were built. You know, 10,000. I'm going back 75,000 for Giza anyways. I don't know what the rest of you people are doing, but maybe even 500,000. But anyways, this, like I said, I don't want to keep repeating myself here.